Hey guys, what's up? It is Ripe again, back with more legal advice stories and as usual, without any major cliffhangers for your viewing pleasure. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and to also click the bell icon to not miss any of my future videos. Without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, Parents have been scammed, but I believe I have found the person responsible. Next steps? Hi guys, first of all I would like to say that throughout this post I will be trying to keep specific information to a minimum. I am only in the beginnings of my personal investigation and would not want to jeopardize what I've already found in case the person responsible is on Reddit. Anyway, just after Christmas I bought myself a new 4K TV. My parents were impressed and wanted one of their own, but did not want to pay what I paid, so I looked online. They found a website listing a similar TV to mine for around $100 cheaper, so I decided to order it. The website itself did not look dodgy. It listed a full TNC's page, an address which I looked up after this happened and found to be empty, but the site had only been up a short amount of time, so I gave it the benefit of the doubt, thinking it may not be updated. And it seemed like a lot of time went into the listings and there were many hundreds of products listed. The dodgy part of this, which I wish I had warned them against, is that the seller asked for a BACS bank transfer for payment. I know BACS is good for sellers and I know it can be well secured providing both accounts remain open. However, shortly after making the payment of multiple hundreds of bucks, the seller's account was closed. That brings us up to today. When I found out that the account was closed, I decided to do a bit of investigation of my own when I returned home from work. I used publicly available services to find the registrar of the domain and came up with a full name and address. One further search came up with a phone number and confirmed the name and address as correct according to the domain website. My question is now, what do I do next? I was debating calling the person in question and asking a generic question regarding the domain to confirm they registered it and to confirm their name. However, if this person is suspicious, they may catch on. I was also considering getting the police involved. However, I know that police involvement would more than likely deem my investigation useless and it could be weeks before anything is actually done, if it is done at all. What would you guys suggest? If it would help, I have absolutely no problem in making all information I have found available to anyone who can help. I am willing to do whatever is necessary to have this money returned to my parents. Thank you for reading and I hope that someone here can help. And guys, I'm curious, have you ever been the victim of any sort of online scam? You know, actually not too long ago, a friend of mine wanted to buy a graphics card for his computer and he was looking on eBay, and this graphics card was actually a pretty expensive one. When you buy it new, it costs around 700 or 800 euros. Which is $900 or $1,000, and people on eBay sold it, supposedly new, for around 400 to 300 euros. Interestingly enough, the overwhelming amount of sellers that offered these graphics cards for cheap had a boatload of good positive reviews, but also they were usually businesses that you would not expect to sell graphics cards. For example, home improvement stores. So my guess was that these people got hacked on eBay and the scammers used these accounts as a disguise in order to scam innocent people. Either way, a user in the comments suggested, police, there's nothing you can do that will resolve this sooner than the police will, absent you tracking the person down and beating them up, which consequently will also land you in trouble. Another person said, what about filing in small claims court? I mean, besides the outright fraud here, you could at least recoup your costs if you file a claim against the individual or the company. And then OP indeed responded, I think that will be my next step. I am currently waiting for a friend to call him in order to gain confirmation that he is the owner of the domain, at which point I will submit the evidence to the bank fraud department and a family friend who is a detective in our local police force. I just learned this. Hopefully that does something, if not this. And another person said, I would not have anybody contact him. That might tip him off or at the very least make him suspicious and close up shop. I would find a way to archive as much of his site as you can, as he will probably try to delete it if he gets suspicious. It is trivial for him to update the information in the whois listing for the domain to fake information, so make a record of that too. Hopefully he registered it with a well-known, reputable registrar that will keep records of the previous information. Also, a note about archiving his site: the Internet Wayback Machine allows you to submit a site to be archived. Link archive.org. This way, it won't be you doing the archiving, so he won't be able to say you modified any of the information. But contacting him is a horrible idea, leave it to the police. And now the update to the parents getting scammed story. Basically, after the original post, my parents got in touch with the local police fraud department and also the local police of the address I found. I also continued my own investigation. I found that the guy registered to the site was in his 60s. I found that he had owned his own company in the past and found a load of legal documentation relating to that, confirming a load of information on him, as well as some other documentation relating to some planning permission requests he had submitted regarding his house. Using this as an excuse, I called him to confirm his identity, which was positive. It seemed a little strange, however, because the guy sounded far too genuine. First impressions always count. I therefore thought about the possibility of someone using this guy's information falsely and went back to tracking traffic to and from the site, as well as finding information relating to the person who registered the domain. Without going into too much detail, I found a company in China that was linked to the site, as well as an email address, IP address, and therefore home address in Turkey, which seemed to be linked to both. I submitted this information to the police without going in too much detail as to how I obtained it, and it clearly worked. As far as I am aware, the guy in London has been informed that somebody is using his details, and the addresses in Turkey and China are being investigated, but most importantly, my parents got their money back. Unfortunately, it was not from the scammer, but from the bank that provided their account. I can only hope that they catch the scammer and that nobody else gets caught out. The original site has been closed along with any linked sites. The outcome is, my parents are now much more careful buying online, and hopefully this can be a lesson to others. If you're gonna buy online, here are some tips. Use a credit card, the payment is completely covered in case something goes wrong. Buy from reputable places. If one site is significantly cheaper but you have not heard of it, there is a reason for both of those things. Walk away. Don't assume that bank transfers are secure, even if your bank says so. There's almost no cover with this kind of payment. If you do get scammed, do your own investigation or hire someone to do it for you. The information you/they find can and will be used by the police. Final thanks to those who piped up with some advice in the original post. And a user in the comments said, using a credit card and buying from a reputable seller is very good advice. I was an idiot one foggy in my head Sunday morning about 6 months ago and found a great deal on Oakley sunglasses. Like unbelievably great, so I spent like $170 for 8 to 10 pairs of glasses. About 30 seconds after I submitted my order, my common sense kicked in and I realized I was paying for fakes. I tried to cancel the order, but that did not work. I filed a dispute with my credit card company and they refunded the money. About 2 months later, I got a beat up package from China labeled shoes by customs with the glasses in there. So, free crappy fake glasses. Not too bad. I still don't understand why I did not get what I was doing. I have intentionally bought fakes before and I know the price range. Just stupidity, but fortunately I was at least cautious enough to use credit when I normally try to never use my credit card. And guys, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video to help me with the damn YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much in advance. And by the way, if you haven't already, please also click the bell icon to not miss any of my videos, because recently YouTube apparently decided to not send notifications to all of my subscribers anymore. More like 5% of them. And the next one is titled, Landlord is selling the house and wants us out. Hello everyone, about a week ago our landlord texted my fiancée telling her that he sold the house and needed us out in 30 days. My question is, can he legally do this? We signed a 3-year lease and it has not even been a year of us living here. Another thing is, he wants us to let him start moving stuff into the garage. He sold the house to his daughter. On the lease it says that he needs to give us a written notice signed by both the tenants and landlord, which we have yet to receive. Is all this legal? And do I need to let him store stuff in our garage? We live in Illinois, I'm not sure if that makes a difference with the law. Edit, thanks for all the input guys, I will have a professional look over my lease just in case I missed something before talking to the landlord. Also, I will keep a copy in my car just in case anything happens. I will keep you guys informed. Update, I work for one of the neighboring town's police departments as a maintenance worker and I had the chief look over the lease and answer some of my concerns. He also texted the local circuit attorney and I am currently awaiting for a response. He said to definitely not pay the landlord any more rent until this is all sorted out, and if for whatever reason they do try to evict us legally, then it would be a minimum 6-month process. So far it seems everything on my side is in the clear. I will keep you posted on what the attorney says. And some users in the comments said, I don't think your landlord knows what it means to lease a house to somebody unless the lease contains a provision for the house being sold. You can tell him that you will be sticking with the lease. If the lease gives you control of the house, then you don't have to permit him to store things. You could open a negotiation for him to pay you for either leaving early or using the garage for storage. And another person suggested, make copies of the lease and carry it around with you. If he tries to lock you out, call the police and report an illegal eviction. Don't get locked out of the house without the lease, and whatever other proof you have that you live there, he's just going to have to deal with it and then he's going to have to pay up. And another person suggested, lease rights with the land through sale. He can buy out your leasehold interest or wait his happy ass for 2 more years. Notice how it is called leasehold. It means you are holding the property until the lease expires. On a non-legal note, you are probably going to have a really crappy landlord moving forward. Since the daughter bought it, I bet he has some cash to buy you out. Daughter may too. Who is willing to pony up the cash would tempt you to leave. Good luck. And guys, what would you do if you were in OP's shoes and your landlord would tell you to leave your home in 30 days or else? Let us know in the comments. And the next one is an update to the landlord selling the house situation. Anyway, we got together yesterday to see if we could find some type of middle ground, and as you can imagine, it did not go well. He first tried to tell us again that he wanted us out by September 1st, to which I told him no way, because my fiancée is expected to be due on August 21st. He then tried to get me to sign a paper stating that he would allow us to stay at the house until October 1st and we would not have to pay a month's rent, and then he got furious when I told him that I would not sign that on the spot and needed to have someone look it over first. He then started to threaten us, saying that the lease states 2 adults and having a baby would breach it, and if we did not sign the paper that he would evict us. My question is, wouldn't it be illegal for him to say we breached the lease by having a baby? Discrimination. We have been great tenants, for example, never late on rent, no complaints, keep up on the house and yard. If he does try and go through with the eviction, would it even hold up? As stated in my last thread, he never served us any type of written notice, just texted my fiancée telling her he wanted us out by the end of the month. Should I go seek professional help just to have my end covered? Any input would be greatly appreciated. Thank you in advance. And a user in the comments said, yes, it is a violation of the FHA to evict someone for having children unless the complex is specifically designated as 55 plus or senior living. And another person said, he's probably not going to even get an eviction. There is an eviction hearing where you both go in front of a judge and plead your case. His argument is going to be, I sold the house, he needs to get out. And your argument is going to be, I have a lease, I'm legally entitled to be there. If you bring out your copy of lease, it is an open and shut case, they won't grant the eviction. However, if you are willing to move, you could work out a deal with him, have him pay 3 months rent or something like that, and assure that you get all of your deposit back. He's making you move the month after you have a baby that is worth something. A lot. 1 month of no rent is not enough because you're going to have to pay rent and utilities at a location that month anyway, since it is basically going to take a month to move, since you will have so much other stuff going on. It's going to cost you money, he needs to give you more than that. Final update to the landlord's story. Thank you to everyone that offered great advice. I ended up hiring an attorney to deal with the whole situation, as it turns out he did not sell the house like he kept telling us he did. Instead, he had promised it to someone else and was trying to get us out so he could provide them with a place to live. Luckily, I had documented every interaction/phone call we had, so I was able to prove that he was in fact trying to illegally evict us. After all was said and done, we got what we originally wanted, more time, plus he had to buy us out of our lease. In my last threads, my fiancée was pregnant and I am happy to say we have a beautiful baby girl now. On top of that, we found a house we love and are closing on it November 16th. Again, thank you to everyone who gave me great advice. Because of you guys, I had the confidence to stand up for my rights and I am on my way to becoming a first-time home owner. And if you ask me, that was a beautiful legal advice success story. And in addition, I would like to know, have you ever been threatened with eviction? And if so, did your landlord succeed? Let us know in the comments. And the next one is titled, "We were sold an engagement ring with a fake stone." Hey legal advice, my fiancé bought my engagement ring at a local jeweler, and the jeweler we bought it from told us it was a solid black opal. He spent $3,000 on this ring. To make a long story short, the stone color changed and I was reassured by the jeweler it was because of the backing. I got it appraised by another jeweler and the stone only has a thin layer of opal and is worth about 30 bucks and the band around $400. I live in California. Are there any laws that protect consumers in this situation? We are going there on Friday to ask for a refund or the difference in price, but I have a feeling the jeweler will refuse. Is this worth a civil case or should we cut our losses? Thank you for your help. And a user in the comments said, "Perfect case for small claims court, you need your original receipt and I would get an appraisal of the ring's actual value from at least 2 other jewelers, maybe 3 to be safe. Seems like it would be easy enough to prove in court that you were misled." And another person said, "Most jewelers make their money on reputation. One must trust a person before you hand over a bunch of money for a rock and metal. If the jeweler works on that principle, you might get some money back. If he doesn't, you have the difficulty of proving you did not switch out the rock." And another person said, "You certainly have recourse under the California Commercial Code, California's adaptation of the UCC. There are certain warranties impliedly given in a sale of goods and it sounds like the merchant made an express warranty as well. SEC 2313 gives you protection under express warranties and SEC 2314 gives you protection for implied warranties. You can sue for up to $10,000 in small claims court, so I would read the information here and then progress from there." The next one is an update to the fake engagement ring story. Hey guys, thank you again for all of your insight and advice for my previous post. We got our third-party appraisal back stating the ring was worth $2,000 and that the opal was a duplicate worth around $30. We went to the original jeweler with the appraisal and requested a refund. He insisted it was not a duplicate and showed us a stone that was a duplicate. Our stone and the duplicate looked very different. This confused both me and my fiancé, but we insisted that we were not satisfied with the stone. He replaced the stone for us with a solid opal, but only offered a white opal, which are cheaper in price from what I have researched. He admitted that he sold us a solid opal and then used the backing to darken it. We were under the impression it was a black opal, which are more expensive. Ultimately, we decided to cut our losses with the replacement stone because the jeweler was actually going out of business and closing the next day. We felt that it was not worth the hassle. Thanks again. Guys, and I cannot imagine why this guy is suddenly going out of business. Honestly, if this happened to you, what would you have done? Would you have just given up or continued to pursue the case? Let us know in the comments. And unfortunately guys, we have already reached the end of the video. I hope you still enjoy r/LegalAdvice, and if you do, please let me know in the comments. And once again, please don't forget to also click the bell icon if you are subscribed to not miss any of my uploads. Currently it seems like I am slowly getting back into the YouTube algorithm, meaning that YouTube is suggesting my videos to old and new viewers alike again. However, it is still a bit slow at the moment, so the best thing to do is to click the bell icon. Either way, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.